Good, how are you?
I'm good. Now that I listened to Get Rolling, I'm much better.
It's awesome.
It's a it's a great record, and let's go straight into it because we just come out of a pandemic. Even though now people are worried again that we might get into another one in the winter. Anyway, but it's been like 5 years since you guys last put some music out.
Hmm.
Uh, why, you guys like to take the time this time around to work on the songs?
Um, well, we were going on tour. We were gonna do the 15-year anniversary tour of All the Right Reasons. And we were gonna play All the Right Reasons from start to finish and then play the rest of the tunes. And then right when that was right when we were getting ready to go on the road, um, all of a sudden COVID hit. And we all know how that went. So then there's 2.5 years of just so I mean that was probably about 2.5 years. So yeah, so it's 5 years since we put a record out, and we would have done a tour and put a whole other record out sooner. We'd probably be working on another record uh, had that not happened. Um, so yeah, it's time. It is time. So you got to hear the whole record?
Yes, I did. And, it's banger after banger after banger.
Oh, cool.
It's for me, I know there's, and it's something that I would like to talk to you. Why there is like a love hate relationship with Nickelback? It's because of the success you guys have that people feel a bit envious. Because, I enjoyed Nickelback for many, many years. And for me, it's all about the music. I really don't care what genre it is, even though I'm a metalhead. But, you guys know how to write songs. And I don't understand sometimes when people seem to be dissing Nickelback just because it's Nickelback. Do you
Yeah.
understand what's
Yeah, I think I do kind of I've got a pretty good grasp of where things kind of went off the rails for us. And so I think that because we write so many different kinds of music, I think that if you were listening to a radio station anytime between, you know, 2000 and 2010, 11, 12 even, um we were kind of tough to get away from, because if you didn't want to hear it and you changed to a different radio station, you'd probably hear it on that, and then change to a different radio station, you're probably going to hear it,
yeah.
in so many different places, and we were really tough to get away from. And that's not my fault. We just write the songs. um and so with that comes backlash. And then what happens is you'll get then comedians start making jokes, and then it starts making it onto TV, and then it makes it into movies and stuff like that. And then there just turns into this wave of like, oh, it's fun to pick on. It's fun to pick on them, and it's like it's an easy joke. And I get it. I understand. There are bands that when I hear them on the radio, and they're very popular bands. And I mean, we all have those. I mean, no one is exempt from that. Like
Yeah.
everybody, there are certain bands where you just hear them and you just don't like them. And other people may, half the world may love them. And sometimes I'll just be like, no, I just cannot hear this band one more. And just like everyone else does, I just changed the channel.
Yeah.
But we did kind of get we became the whipping boy of the music industry for a while there. But whatever. It's just part of the history of the band. And it's funny because we were at the American Music Awards, and we were presenting, and we presented to Def Leppard. And when we walked backstage afterwards, Joe Elliott and Phil Collin turned to me, and they were just like, dude, thank you so much. And I'm like, for what? And they're like, for taking the trophy, for we get to pass the baton to you for being the most hated band in the world now. And I was just like, oh yeah, because I want that. And it's funny. We went for dinner with AC/DC in Chicago years and years and years ago. And this whole thing came up. And Brian Johnson said when they released Back in Black, they were the most hated band on the planet. So I feel like we're in good company.
And this album, the first singles, San Quentin, people started talking because they were like, oh, this is going to be almost like a heavier side of metal from Nickelback, and it's a heavy rock song. And this is about an experience you had with a warden that worked in that prison, which is, for those who don't know, it's like a death row prison for people.
It's a very, very famous prison in the U.S. and it was famous because it was just a really harsh, rough prison. And Johnny Cash, Johnny Cash did Folsom. I think he went to Folsom Prison. Did he do both? Brad yelling from Brad, who works for us. He's like, both. So I guess he also went to San Quentin. Yeah, that's right. And it's just a very legendary prison. And it's just got this this history to it. But when I met the guy, I was at a party for my buddy's birthday, and he was having this huge birthday party. And there had to have been 1,000 people there. And I met the warden. And the second I met him, I was like, I have to write a song. I got to write a song called San Quentin now. I just met the warden, and I just thought that was, insanely cool. And thank God I wasn't in an orange jumpsuit.
Yeah.
While I was meeting him. So.
And how long does it take for you to write a song? Did you guys take the time this time around to work on them? Because it seems to be very, when we listen to a Nickelback record, it seems to be very easy for you two guys to write a song. That might not be the case when you guys are writing, right?
I'm glad it sounds that way. Because, some of them come quickly and some of them require a little more labor. And I'm assuming that's the same with everybody. I sit back and think that sometimes. I wonder, when I listen to some of the tunes, just like, oh, it just sounds like it probably just flowed. And everything just, it sounds like these guys wrote this song in like 2 hours. Yeah. When it took us, weeks to figure out all the parts and how are we going to put it all together and make it what it is. Yeah, it's, and then there's all the other little intricacies that go along with it that I love, making sure that we call them doorbells that go in the chorus, all the little ear candy that goes in there. I just love that stuff. I love sitting around putting all the little production ideas on stuff. It's so fun. And it gets a little addicting. And sometimes I think I put on a little too much. When we're in there, there's a little too much stuff going in the spaghetti sauce, and we gotta pull a little bit out once in a while. But
so is that
it's a hell of a good job.
Yeah.
When you're sitting in a room like this, and I don't know if you can see behind me. I'm in the studio. To be able to come in here every day and my job is just to be creative, just come up with whatever. And sometimes you get a rocker, and sometimes you get something that's close to metal. And then sometimes you want to do something more melodic.
Yeah. And, when you're working, you're talking about those bells that you like to put in the chorus and everything.
Yep.
Does the producer or the guys in the band say, Chad, that's too much, stop it, okay, we got it?
It depends. Because if it's good, it goes in. If it's good, it's good. And sometimes I forget what's in there. And then we'll do like a kind of like a behind the music sort of thing. and you start turning up the tracks, and I'll be like, I'll listen to things. I'll be like, I don't even remember putting that in there. There'll be tiny little things that your subconscious is hearing that your ear isn't really even picking up. I'll sit back and just be like, how long did that take us? It's so funny to look back and just think that I'm like, did I come up with that, or who came up with that part? Kind of thing. But it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, and on this record, there's a song that's 15 years old. Do you always keep ideas, from riffs or skeletons of songs?
Always, 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 always. Yeah, because if you're making a record, I just never want too much of one thing on the record. I always like it when there's a lot of everything.
Yeah.
But if you write, let's say 2 or 3 of the same sort of song, like it's the same kind of vibe almost. You just don't want the record to be lopsided. So we'll just take that idea and put it away for later. And sometimes you just have to wait until it's the right time, and I go back over the vault all the time and listen to like really heavy riffs. I've got this one riff that is just so good, and I've tried to sing something over it probably 4 different times, and it's just not right. I just can't find the right melody for this riff, and it's so good that I just refuse to put it out or do anything with it until I get the perfect melody, the perfect tagline, whatever is going to be. But it deserves, just the most attention, and to have the greatest vocal line on it, and maybe I won't be the one singing on it. Maybe it'll be a collaboration. Maybe I'll find somebody else who wants to do it. Maybe someone else is going to put the magic on there and be like, this. Here we go. This is what I was waiting for this thing. But there's the vault, as I call it, is always has a lot of stuff in it. Lots of little ideas to go back to.
Yeah, and on this record, besides obviously Saint Quentin, "Skinny Little Missy" is one of those songs that really get in your ear rather quickly. I think it's going to be one of those that as soon as it's the radios, people are going to, as you were saying earlier, probably going to switch to another station, and the song is playing there as well.
I hope so. Yeah, I mean, from your lips to God's ears, that would be amazing. But yeah, like I hope it's catchy, and I hope people like it. I hope people enjoy this new record half as much as we did making it.
Yeah.
So
I think the record is quite diverse. As you said, it's a really good roller coaster to go on. Music-wise, I think it's, as I said, I don't think you guys write a bad song, and you really know how to pick them for the records. And
thank you.
People might say whatever they want, but one thing I have to give you, it's like you guys know how to write a freaking song, and that's it. And as Taylor Swift was going to say, haters gonna hate, but
haters gonna hate.
But that's the truth. Anyway, and with the album coming out, obviously, probably next year, you guys are planning a tour. It's been, a long time since you guys toured, and in Portugal, you guys only played once anyway. But can we expect to see you guys in Portugal? Because I think it's long overdue that you guys come back and
we would love to. We would absolutely love to make it back to Portugal. There's a lot of places that we've only played once. We've only been to South Africa one time, and we get so much love from South Africa online. Like there's a ton, and it's so hard to get there. We've never been to India. And I would love to make it to India. And then, I mean, at least we made it to Portugal once. Like, there's a lot of places that we've never been to. We got to play. Where have we played? Trying to think of places that we've only got to play like one time and never been able to go back. We played Moscow twice, which was great. Because regardless of what's going on in the world right now, there's still a lot of good people in both countries that have nothing to do with, all
Yeah.
the political bullshit that's going on. But it was great to be able to play there. Um, we've never been to. We've made it to Dubai. We've been to Abu Dhabi. We've been to the far corner. Like I feel like we've.
Argentina, Chile,
Yeah, 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 that's right. We made it to Argentina once.
Chile once.
Yeah, Chile
Brazil
once.
twice.
Brazil twice. We went to Brazil twice. That's right. We played Sao Paulo. We did Rock in Rio. But there's so many places that we need to go back to and give love to, because it is so wonderful knowing we've got fans in all these places, and places that we still haven't been to. Like I said, I'd love to
Yeah.
make it to India, and be able to play. I think it's Metallica that says they've played absolutely
Yeah.
they've done every continent, and like they've literally done it all.
Well, it's good
It's
for
crazy.
some. It's good.
I'd love to do that too, because it's not fair that a fan has to get on a plane and fly to come see you. Like you should be able to make it close enough where it's driving distance.
Yeah.
I'd like to think.
Yeah.
So
But you guys are planning an European tour for next year. You have an idea?
they're telling me we're going to try and make it everywhere. So I've got my fingers crossed. I hope we make it back to Portugal, or hopefully someplace very close at least. South Africa, I have no idea. I don't know what to tell you guys. I don't know if we're going to make it back to Johannesburg and Cape Town again. I have no idea, but I hope we get someplace close at least. But it's been so long since we've gotten out there and done a real proper world tour, and we're excited.
Yeah.
And I'm absolutely terrified that Skinny Little Missy becomes a single, because we're gonna have to sing that.
Well,
like you've heard the chorus, right? The chorus is like,
now it gets in your head. It's a great song. Come on, man. It's you're going to have to
no,
play
it's
it.
just gonna be really hard to sing.
Well, you wrote it. Now you have to deal with it.
Yeah, I've heard that before. Mutt Lang, when we were working with Mutt and we were doing the Dark Horse record, there was some stuff on there where he's just like, I'm like, how in the hell am I going to sing this live? And he's like, that's not my job. My job is just to make you guys sound awesome in here. Like, you have to figure that out. With like Animals, I've got to take a breath, and I stand like for one line. And then Pete will jump in he'll just give me one line in the verse and then back off. And that's just enough to like take a deep breath and then just keep going. And then he does it again for me in the second verse. So we figure it out. We've got 3 singers in the band between myself and Daniel and Ryan. There's enough guys there to pick up lines so you can catch your breath and keep going.
Yeah.
So.
Right. Chad, thank you very much for your time. It was a pleasure to
Brother.
talk to you. Get Rolling is going to be a great record. I'm excited, and fingers crossed for you guys to come back to Portugal. It's been long overdue. Festival, proper headline show, whatever. I want to see you guys, and I want, to sing those songs that I've been listening for so many years. And I'm not the only one.
Yeah, buddy, I would love that. Well, thank you so much for taking the time today.
Right, thank
you
you
for listening to the record, and it sounds like you're a fan, so thank you very much for that. Like, that's just amazing.
Right.
And hey, we love Portugal, and we would love to come back.
All right. Thank you very much, Chad. Have a great day, and I hope to see you guys soon, all right? Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
See you, bud.
Bye-bye. Bye.